Hi, my name is Haiqiong, and I'm recording this video in Tallahassee, Florida. It's my great honor to share some of my music with each one of you during this difficult time through this digital way. And even though I cannot really go to the place and the concert hall or the museum to play music in person, but I can feel you. I do. And I've been thinking a lot about the role of music in human life during this pandemic, when most people were forced staying at home. So, what's the better way to communicate human feelings? Sadness, happiness, and all these sentiments through music, regardless what genre the music is. So today, I'm going to play a traditional Chinese musical instrument called the Guzheng, spelled Guzheng, Guzheng. The Guzheng has at least 2,500 years history. It was already popular by that time. And the modern Guzheng, the most standard one, has 21 strings, like the one in front of you. And each string has a movable bridge for tuning or changing scales. And traditionally, we put picks, on each finger to pluck the right side of the string, which most time is tuned into a pentatonic scale. And we use the left hand to bend the left side of the string to make all kinds of ornamentations, bendings. And today, I bring two pieces for you. In traditional Chinese music, we categorize classical music into two types of music. One we call wen, which is civil, means civil or more refined, slow, delicate. And another type is wu, means martial, more dynamic, forceful. So I brought two ancient pieces to demonstrate these two types of music. But more importantly, each piece has its own cultural significance. The first one I'm going to play, the Chinese name is春江花月夜. To translate the title, Chunjiang means the spring river. Hua, blossom, flowers, 月夜, in a moonlit night. This is one of the most renowned classical Chinese music. The music was the first sing in early 1800, and it was for the pipa, the four-string lute, Chinese pipa. And then later this piece was converted into all kinds of forms with orchestras and in different instruments. And this piece is rather like a landscape painting and reflect a central Chinese artistic aesthetics, which is combine music, poem, and nature as one. So actually, this piece has maybe 12 sections, if I remember correctly, and each section is given a poetic title, very imagery, like a painting. So listening to this piece is like you're walking in nature, under the moon, the river, you're listening, you're flowering, whatever you imagine. But I chose this piece for another reason. I think this piece, whenever I play it, I feel contentment, pleasant. And I think that's the mood we all need. Contentment, pleasant, and happy. I remember one of my students asked me, he said, Haiqiong, how did you count the rhythm in this piece? And I thought about it, and I told him, I never count this piece. I use my breath, breathing. It is all about breath. And I thought a lot about it, especially this ancient Chinese music. And I find it's intriguing to compare the music languages in different musical cultures. And a lot of time, when you're dealing with ancient Chinese music, you have to use breath. Feel it, become part of your being, and then everything become natural. And the second piece I would like to share is the martial type piece. This piece called Guangling Melody. Guangling is an ancient name for a city, Yangzhou, in the past. And this piece is about assassination, which is a story, real story, happened around 2,500 years ago, during the Warring State period. And a very famous Guzheng player, by using music, assassinated the king who killed his father. So this piece was actually become very famous in Chinese history, cultural history, because there's a very famous Qin player called Jiang, renowned literati, and he was also 2,000 years ago. Those ancient people, he was executed back by one general because his the difference in the factions, political factions. So he was eventually executed. Before he was died, he played this piece and said this piece will die with him because no one else really know the piece. But somehow the piece was still seen in history. The earliest written music was seen 1400. So it's a very ancient piece. And this version is a bridged version. The original piece has 45 sections. So the whole piece is lasting about 50 minutes. But this one is only have 5 minutes. I think it's well captured the spirit of the piece. So here is the Guangling Melody. Thank you so much for watching my playing of the two pieces. And if you have any question, please feel free to contact me at haiqiongdeng@gmail.com.